Welcome back to another YouTube video, guys. This is episode 3 of Marine Corps Marathon Prep, Project 250. I'm stoked to be back. This is going to be a really awesome and informational episode for you guys. I'm going to go over just some things I've been paying attention to nutritionally and give you guys some updates about my training, what I've been doing this week, and just how nutrition is playing a role in my training. So I want to split this video up into different sections. So the first section is going to be my macros. The second section is going to be tracking versus not tracking your food. And the third section is going to be the importance of fiber and training the gut, specifically for endurance athletes. So the realm or the overarching goal of this video is to educate you guys on how you can fuel, how you can eat to perform. And I want to preface that eating to perform, eating for aesthetics are two totally different things. So I come from a bodybuilding background where I used to eat purely for aesthetics. And it's going to be totally different when you're trying to train for a marathon and you really need your body to perform at a high level constantly. You're going to have to feel way different from if you're stepping on stage for a bodybuilding show, or even if you're really just trying to get in aesthetically good shape. It's going to be completely different than getting really fit and being able to perform at a high level. So this video is going to teach you, hopefully give you some good tips on how to fuel to perform. So I want to start by explaining my current macro split and how it's different from the last video. I know I gave you guys my current goals in the last video. I've since switched it up. So I'm going to tell you guys why and what my current split is. So my current macros are 3,600 calories, 180 to 190 grams of protein, 495 to 525 grams of carbs, and 105 to 115 grams of fat. So the reason I switched up my macros from the last video is because I just felt that I wasn't getting enough carbs in. So what carbs are going to do for you as an endurance athlete, whether you're training for a race or just fueling to perform, as you eat carbs, your body is going to break that down as glucose, and it is going to be stored as glycogen in your muscles. When you are going for an endurance event, for me it's a marathon. So when I'm in a big marathon workout, my body is pulling energy from that glycogen from my muscles. That's the first thing it's using. So carbs as endurance athletes are your body's preferred energy source. And I just felt that I wasn't getting enough of that. And I know from bodybuilding in the past that my body can really absorb a lot of carbs, which has to do a lot with my fiber intake as well, which I'm going to explain to you guys here in a second. But I went for a more moderate protein approach, high carb and moderate fat. I like keeping fats moderate because it can be really good for just hormone production, joint health, and like that long lasting energy that sometimes you need as an endurance athlete. So my current calorie goal is 3,600 calories on a normal day. And why I switched this is because I've been getting data from my Garmin watch on my average amount of calories burned per day. And I was right in that ballpark. And I felt that I needed just a little bit of an uptick on the carbs for more energy during my runs. I will say that on long run days or more higher volume days, I'm going to aim to eat closer to that 4,000 to 4,200 calorie range. So when I think about this on my training block, Tuesdays is usually a high volume speed workout where I'm expending a lot of energy. So those are going to be higher calorie days. And then also my long run days. So typically Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to be doing my long run. So on these days, I will counteract that by fueling more and getting more calories in because of the amount of energy I'm going to be expending on those days. So I actually logged my nutrition for you guys for this video, and I kind of want to walk you through everything I ate so you can kind of get an idea of some of the things I'm eating right now. So when I woke up, I had 60 grams of old-fashioned oats, 2 scoops of naked whey protein, 85 grams of blueberries, 100 grams of banana, 10 grams of flax seeds, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 2 cups of black coffee. So this morning meal also served as a pre-run meal for me today because I am getting my run in on the treadmill about 2 hours after eating breakfast. Had some time in between clients, so that's when I'm getting my run in. So this is going to be a high carb breakfast. It's going to fuel me very well for that run in 2.5 hours. So this had 40 grams of protein in it, 105 grams of carbs, and 18 grams of fat, around 700 calories total. So we are here at Ethos Athletic Club. This is the gym I work at. I have some time in between clients today, so I'm actually gonna hit a run on the treadmill. Now, typically I am super against treadmill runs. Nothing against them. I just personally don't enjoy them. I have a hard time like finding enjoyment in the run on a treadmill, so I typically stay away from them. But a couple reasons why I'm using the treadmill today. One, convenience. Treadmills are sometimes just convenient. I have time in between clients. I can stay in the gym, shower right after, and be ready for my next clients. Two is the heat here in Charleston. Typically, I like going out and getting some heat training in, but yesterday I ran in the brute of the day, the middle of the day, and there was a feel like of 105, and it really just took me out for the rest of the day. Like to the point where I was like losing energy with some of my afternoon clients, and that's never fun. So another reason for the treadmill is because of the impact. So it's going to be a little less strenuous on my body. It's very controlled. You can control your pace, control your heart rate very well. It's pretty cool in this room. I'll probably still work up a decent sweat, but I'm not going to lose nearly as much sodium. It's not going to take nearly as much energy to get this run in. So we're going to see what we can get in. I would like to get in at least 7 to 8 miles depending on the time and how fast I can do it. I'm going to keep my pace between an 8:30 and 9-minute mile. For me, that's typically an easy pace where I can keep my heart rate extremely low and stay in zone 2 so that my body is actively recovering. That's why zone 2 is so important. I'll say it over and over again on this channel because you can still get the miles in as your body is actively recovering. And right now, this week, I've just been super fatigued, to be transparent with you guys. I did my long run on Sunday last week, so I didn't have that day of recovery like I normally do. And I'm really feeling the effects of that. That and the heat, training in the heat yesterday, body is super fatigued. So another reason for the treadmill run, just to allow my body to recover some more and be in a more controlled environment for this run. I wanted to show you guys my warm up today and just kind of explain what I typically do and why. And if you watch the warm up that I'm going to show on the screen, you'll see that I'm really activating my glutes. I think that's one of the most important things for runners. A lot of the times as runners, we have underactive glutes. A lot of people just have underactive glutes, to be honest. So a lot of what I'm doing with the mini band and warming up is trying to activate my glutes, activate my hamstrings, some of those primary muscle groups that you're going to use when you're running. So I'm going to walk you guys through my warm up, just kind of what I do, just so you can see it. And taking 5 to 10 minutes to warm up before a run is extremely important. I know so many people hop out their car and go, and you might be able to get away with that as an individual, but I'm telling you, one day it will catch up to you. So you just take the time, just take the time to warm up. It's 5 to 10 minutes. That's all you need. And it's very, very important just to get some activation in those muscles that you're going to be using when you're running. Another thing I do is just some little plyometrics before I start running, like some bunny hops and single leg bunny hops, because that is going to help activate those joints and tendons in your lower leg that you're going to use when you're running. It's going to get your body prepared for that impact that it's going to take when you're running. Because at the end of the day, running is going to leave a lot of impact on your body. You want to prepare your joints, your tendons, your feet for that impact. So one of the important things for me right now is just getting in enough fuel, and that's been my biggest challenge. So before this run 2 hours ago, I had my protein oat bowl. This is a really good pre-run fuel source for me when I want to get solid food in before. So if I don't run first thing in the morning, I typically will eat solid food instead of a carb and electrolyte mix like Tailwind, like you guys have usually seen. And it's a solid fuel source that works really well for me before a run. If I were to wake up and run first thing, I don't eat solid food. I just have the Tailwind, which supplies me with carbs and sodium. So carbs for the energy, sodium for the hydration. So that was the pre-run fuel for this morning in oat bowl. I have a Go Gel from BPN to take if I need it, if I'm feeling low on energy. But yeah, let's get these miles up. getting 8 miles in today. Sorry about the music in here. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. 8 miles today, 8:55 pace, and it took me 1 hour and 11 minutes. So felt amazing on the treadmill today. I haven't ran on a treadmill in a really long time. I don't think I ran on a treadmill once for my 100-mile prep, maybe one time, but that felt amazing. I think I'm gonna start mixing those in at least once a week or once every other week, because it really allows me to control my heart rate. Like I said, just recover as I'm still getting those miles in. So my heart rate was an average of 130 beats per minute and a max of 137 beats per minute. So again, kept my heart rate super low, stayed in zone 2, allowed the body to actively recover. And one thing that I do on treadmills that I never knew how to do in the past, that hopefully someone can take something away from, is when you're done the run, instead of just clicking save like you normally would, I have a Garmin Fenix 7, you scroll down and click calibrate and save. So you want to go off what the treadmill miles and pace are. You don't want to go off your watch, because when you're doing a treadmill run, there's no GPS like there normally would be on an outdoor run. So you click calibrate and save, and then it'll have you enter the treadmill distance, and then it will automatically calibrate to your watch. So super useful. I never knew how to do it before, and my runs would be way off, like tracking wise. So that's just a little tip that helped me that I finally learned how to do. But yeah, 8 miles in the bag today, felt solid. All right, so immediately after that run, I took a quick shower. I have a meeting with one of the nonprofits that we partnered with for the Stony 100. If you're new to this channel, the Stony 100 is a run for mental health awareness that we did here in Charleston. 100 miles around a track. We have a whole documentary on it. Would love for you guys to check it out. It's posted on my channel. But what we got for lunch here, had to heat it up and eat it on the go real quick. I actually love eating in my car. I feel like I get a lot of solitude with it for whatever reason. But we got chicken thighs. I got 2 4-ounce chicken thighs. We got quinoa, we got Brussels sprouts, and we got carrots. So what I did is I roasted the Brussels sprouts and the carrots in our air fryer. And then, as I told you guys, I'm really focusing on fiber. Quinoa is a really good source of fiber. It's also a really good source of carbohydrate. So this is a really, really good meal. What I do to get some extra carbs and sweetness in this meal is drizzle honey over top of everything. So to give you guys a good look at it, here's what we're working with. This is a really good meal. We had this for dinner last night, and thankfully had some leftovers for lunch. So I'm gonna eat this, and then honestly, during my meeting, I'm probably gonna get a smoothie as well, just to get some more carbs, some more protein in. Because like I said, I've just been dealing with under fueling, and I wanna make sure I'm getting enough fuel in. So that's on today's agenda for lunch. And this meal is so good. I could have this every single day. All right, so we're having a midday snack here. Looks so crazy on camera, but what this is a Dave's Killer plain bagel, and I top it with peanut butter, and then we have medjool dates on top. So this is a snack that I just recently started having. I recently started having my midday bagel. It's just helping me hit my carb goal. So this bagel has 52 grams of carbs plus 3 dates on top, which is an extra 30 grams of carbs. So that's 82 grams of carbs. Wow, you just almost fumbled that math. 82 grams of carbs right here, plus a little extra in the peanut butter. I didn't put too much peanut butter on it, probably half a tablespoon, but it just helps me up that carb goal, and not to mention adds to my daily fiber. So I'm just like gradually increasing my fiber, trying to get my gut microbiome just more used to it. And again, I just found that I was under fueling, especially for my running performance. So just little things like this is just fueling me to help me perform better and improve my performance. So, and not to mention, it's delicious. I know that the dates look kind of weird. It kind of looks like bacon on there. I promise it's not bacon, but it's so good, so sweet, and just like a lot of natural sugars in this too. So it's so good. Cheers.
scroll 7, see a 7, bowl 7, star 7 times 70. I'm seeing 7s in the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 signs.
For dinner, me and Gabby had our classic turkey patty or turkey burger meal. So what we have with this meal is 2 servings of turkey patties, so 2 turkey patties, 2 whole wheat sandwich buns from Whole Foods. I had half an avocado on there, 2 slices of tomato, 3 slices of onions, and then 105 grams of sweet potatoes that we cut into fries. And then I had an Olipop root beer with this meal. This was about 870 calories, 63 grams of protein, 108 grams of carbs, and 28 grams of fat. And then right before bed right now, I'm having some Honey Nut Cheerios just to top off my carb goal. So that gives me an extra 39 grams of carbs with 12 grams of protein and 2 grams of fat. And I'm just having about 7/8 of a cup of Honey Nut Cheerios and a cup of fat-free milk. So that is what I have right before bed, just to kind of top off my glycogen, top off my carbs for the day. Something else I've been doing recently is trying to up my fiber intake per day. And I want to talk to you guys about why this is so important, especially for endurance athletes, but really just for anyone. Fiber intake is super, super important. So I took some notes here that I'm going to be reading off of. But when you think about fiber, it's going to be different from macros. So it's going to be different from protein, from carbs, from fats. It's really just going to feed that good bacteria in your gut, which then transforms into fiber and short chain fatty acids, which are going to help reduce inflammation, gut lining, integrity, really just produce gut health. So if you can improve your fiber intake daily, I think for endurance athletes, like 30 to 40 grams of fiber is a good goal to work up to. Then your gut's going to be in a way better spot to absorb more nutrients, like more macros, more protein, more carbs, more fats, which is then going to allow you to fuel more efficiently. But also, a lot of the times runners run into issues, no pun intended there, when they're trying to improve their fueling and they're trying to get more carbs in, but their gut can't handle it, so they run into a lot of GI discomfort. And that's where fiber comes in. If you can improve your fiber intake slowly and gradually, then it's going to just help your gut microbiome in general. It's going to leave you with a healthy gut, and it's going to allow you to absorb some of those carbs, some of that protein a little better as you're getting all these miles in. And it's really just going to help with GI support. So it's going to reduce bloating, cramping, and just excessive bout of stress. Because let's be honest, as runners, bout of stress is a real thing. So if we can just gradually improve our fiber intake, it's going to improve all these things for us. Immune support is also another factor when it comes to improving your fiber intake. So 70%, I have this stat written down, 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. So I feel like not enough people are trying to train their gut to improve and be able to take on more foods and different foods and, through different seasons of life, different training, whatever it is. And for me right now, that's kind of what I was running into. I know I needed to get more carbs, but I hate that bloated feeling, and I hate that feeling of being full when I'm running so much. So this is how I'm doing that. I'm slowly increasing my fiber intake. You don't want to just go from eating 15 grams of fiber to 40 grams of fiber in a couple days or in 1 week. Then your gut is not going to be used to it, and it's going to cause you a lot of distress. You're going to be really bloated, really inflamed, and it's just not going to be fun. So you want to do this gradually, up it by maybe 5 grams per week, or maybe even lower than that to start. See what you can handle. My fiber intake was around 30 grams, maybe a little under most days. So I'm really trying to up that more around the 40 grams per day mark. Just again, so my gut can improve and I can absorb more carbs and more electrolytes, more nutrients, without having all that distress that comes with it. Let's talk about tracking your food versus not tracking your food. This can go either way. You can see arguments for either way. I do want to preface that online, sometimes I think tracking your nutrition gets a lot of negative light. It's only if you look at it in a negative way. So to me, I look at tracking my nutrition as, okay, I'm understanding what's going into my body, what I'm putting in it, and what it needs to, in my case, perform at a high level. So I'm not tracking every single day now. I'm not tracking everything that goes into my body. And again, I once did that as a bodybuilder. As someone who was stepping on stage, I tracked literally everything that goes into my body. I never developed a bad relationship with it, but I understand, fully aware that can cause a bad relationship with food for some people. But you have to also look at it as a positive of okay, every now and then I'm going to track my food to make sure I'm getting the necessary fuel in to perform. And I recently just started tracking again a little bit more, just because I was running into some of these issues and I was caught under fueling. That was just resulting in a lot of different things. So under fueling can really just do a lot of negative things when it comes to training for an endurance event, like running into injury, not performing like you want to, all these things. So really I've been tracking recently to make sure I can meet some of these goals, ultimately to be able to fuel to perform. Because at the end of the day, this goal scares me, guys. This goal of running a 2 hour and 50-minute marathon is super scary for me. It's not an easy goal. It's not something I just was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this because, I can walk in there and do it with ease. No, it's all these little details I have to iron out in order to achieve that goal. So these are just some of the things nutritionally that I'm focusing on right now, and what I've learned throughout this process, that hopefully by watching this video, maybe you're early in your journey and you can learn this as you're just starting out, because it took me a while to learn some of this stuff. And I think it's just super important to know at an early stage of running that some of this stuff is more important. Now, obviously, a marathon is going to be, you're going to have to pay attention to some of this stuff more so if you're running a marathon than hey, if you're just training for a 5K, some of this might not be as necessary. But I think it's important to fuel to perform for any race you're training for. Maybe it's a triathlon, whatever it is. You want to fuel to perform, especially if you're a competitive person and your goal is to perform at the end of the day. Then I think some of this stuff is super important. So hopefully you guys took something from this and can take it forward with you in your training to improve some of your performance and just nutrition in general. Since we're on the topic of nutrition and fueling to perform, I also want to talk to you guys about some of the running supplements I use on a daily basis. So let's start with electrolytes. For electrolytes, I use dry water electrolytes and BPN's electrolytes. So I use both of these companies. I love them both. They both have a great sodium content. The reason I like dry water a lot is because it also has 1,000 milligrams of potassium, which I find helps with cramping during my runs and making sure I have some of those essential electrolytes, especially here with a hot summer in Charleston. And then one of my all-time favorite supplements that I use is Tailwind Endurance. So Tailwind is a carb and electrolyte supplement that I use before my runs or during longer runs as well. And it supplies you with carbs and electrolytes and sodium. So the carbs are going to be used for energy during your runs, like I talked to you guys about. The sodium is going to be used for hydration. So I usually go in with 2 scoops of Tailwind, which provides me with around 50 grams of carbs and 720 milligrams of sodium. During my long runs, I'll also use BPN's Go Gels. So these are gels that, again, are going to provide you with quick carbs and quick sodium. I believe one gel has 25 grams of carbs and around 110 milligrams of sodium. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's around what they have. So this is kind of what I use during my long runs. I'll have gels in my pocket to help me fuel, and then I'll usually carry a bottle with 2 scoops of Tailwind just to get those extra carbs and that extra sodium, especially because it's insanely hot here in Charleston right now. And I'll usually only use intra-fuel for a run if it's over an hour and 30 minutes, so over 90 minutes long. I'll use intra-run fuel. If not, then I typically don't. Sometimes I'll just bring a water with me right now in Charleston since it's hot, but I wanted to explain my intra-run fuel to you guys as well. I just wanted to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. And I want to leave you guys off by saying, if you could donate to my cause for the Marine Corps Marathon, I would genuinely appreciate it. So one of the main things that the nonprofit Guardian Revival, what they do is they give resources to veterans and first responders and they give it to them for free. So one of the main things they do is they give them support dogs, and they're giving them support dogs for free to help with their mental health issues. So whatever you donate is going directly towards things like that. It's not the only thing they do, but it's one of the things that stood out to me and I find really cool. So just know your money is going directly towards a really good cause and for people that put their lives on the line for you and for I daily. So I just think it's really, really amazing. And if you guys could donate, I would genuinely appreciate it. My goal is $2,500 for this prep. And I'm going to leave the link in the bio. And again, just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Any support is so appreciated. Coming from just a small creator like myself, I appreciate any subscribe, any like on the video. Throw a comment up if you resonated with this video. Just appreciate you guys, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this prep and just all the life lessons and all the training lessons, spiritual lessons I'm going to learn throughout the way. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you on the next episode.